So to kind of expand on this and continue discussion, Dave, we're talking about controlling the exit, this whole idea, which again you shared with us, that I think is really insightful, because if you can control the exit, you control the value. What exactly do you mean? And when in all your experiences and working with business owners, what does that mean? What are you seeing out there in the market from that perspective?
So what I see is a lot of folks that will talk to a business broker or someone in that area that will rush that business to a transaction versus taking the time to slow down, really prepare a plan, and really put some effort and emphasis into the details. If someone rushes straight to a transaction that doesn't take the time to prepare, they're going to cost themselves potentially the entire deal, but often a large discount in value. They'll miss dotting I's and crossing T's. They could lose some key employees along the way if they've not prepared those folks for the transition. And in the end, really, they don't get what they ultimately wanted, which is maximum value for that company.
No, that makes sense. What do you see as the biggest roadblocks for people? Why they wouldn't? I mean, that seems obviously so natural, right? To slow down, prepare. I think we would all, that seems logical, but yet so many people seem to ignore that advice or skip through that. Why do you think that is?
You know, the four things that we primarily focus on are maximizing and protecting value, minimizing risk, and taxation. And really, it's those middle two that will get you every time. Of course, everyone wants to maximize and receive the most money they can for their company. And of course, they want to pay as little a tax as possible.
Right.
But it's protecting that value and minimizing risk that are the ones that most people overlook and skip those details and go straight to trying to get max value. And they don't even look at the tax consequences quite often. And again, the ultimately can often cost themselves a lot of money in the process, a lot of headache. The transaction can take twice as long as it might if you were to plan. And even at the deal table, more than half the deals come apart because of a lack of attention to those details of protecting value and minimizing some of the risks that are involved.
That's really good, Dave. And so what I'm hearing is there's a couple themes in there of slowing down, resisting that urgent, or the feeling of urgency, that need that people, sometimes they just feel rushed and they end up reactive, right? And then proactively planning so that you can, again, maximize value. And you hinted at, what you could give up if you rush through this process. And one of the things you've said in some of the conversations you and I have had in the past is that the erosion of value you could see on this business you worked so hard to build, you could lose up to 50% of the value in this transaction if it's too rushed. So in this next segment, it would be great to get into the details of how does that happen and how do we not let that happen?